welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a somewhat older game. I say old, it's 4 years old. So it's from 2016, and it's called Holdfast Pacific, and it's 1941-1945. So you're going to get the entirety of the Pacific War in this box. It was put out by Worthington. And it's designed, as are most of Worthington's games, by Grant and Mike Wiley. This is Volume 4 in their Campaigns of World War II, or the Holdfast series as they're called, colloquially. Before this there was Russia, North Africa, and Korea, which is interesting. There's Holdfast Atlantic, which came out at the same time, so maybe that's Volume 3, because Korea wouldn't be part of the Campaigns of World War II series. But then since this one and Atlantic came out concurrently in 2016, they also then went on and did, what did I say? Oh, they did like Holdfast East Front, where they went, the first title was just 1941 and 42 in Russia. Then East Front, they did 41 through 45, the whole kind of campaign. And then they also did Tunisia recently in 2018. So there's a lot of titles in this series. We've never played any of them. This is my first experience with these. This is a block war game. But the subject matter is something that interests me. I don't know, I enjoy Pacific War games. They're nice block games as well. Just because it always looks great on the table. But you'll have a big strategic map, and you've got blocks that you'll turn, which have strength values on them. And this is obviously a two-player war game. You can play it solitaire if you just play everything face up. It's fine, but we will play this one two-player. So let's open it up, see what we get. The box is actually really nice. It's kind of a square box, and it's fairly thick compared to the average war games. But I don't know if you can see this. If we catch the light, you can see the texture on the box. This is a linen finished box. This is a very nice product. I love the artwork. I always think that blues and oranges are very striking colors together, and it's just illustrates nicely what we're doing. I know that a lot of care goes into those pieces of art when they're commissioned. So what we've got to start with is the rulebook. And I don't know for sure how introductory this game is, but based on the fact that the rules are about 7 pages, I would say this is a game that you could play with almost anyone. I don't know, having never played it, but this should not be a complicated game. Everything's divided up nicely, there's good diagrams about battles and movement, and making task forces. Everything else on the back is your starting positions and unit setup. Again, should be fairly intuitive. And you can see here, well, let's look. Most of the units, that looks like almost all the Japanese units start on the board, and probably about half of the American units, maybe less than half, because these are the stickers. We got a series of blocks, and we're going to have to put stickers on them. So let's get this the right way up, and they're kind of the way they're printed is. So here's the American stickers. They're green. And then we'll flip it over, and we've got the Japanese ones, and they got kind of the rising sun behind them. And you'll see there's a silhouette on a little blue strip of water for whatever unit it is. But then there's also pips. There's 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 pips on them, and that's the strength. Whatever is, at the top of the block, you rotate it, that's kind of the strength, and there's a couple other VP and turn markers there as well. But those are the stickers. They are fairly reasonably sized. And you can see there's also our little Royal Navy counters there for CBI, which is nice. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if this is... So I got this game in a trade. So, this feels like it was printed out. This is of a different material and finish. So I think this may... Allied Order of Battle appearance. This may be printed out from Board Game Geek or from their website. I am unsure about that one. Here we have Allied Order of Battle / appearance. And then on the back, it's blank. And then we have the Japanese version here. We've got a holding box down here for the sunk units. So yeah, turn one, everything on the board, and they get a smattering of reinforcements versus the Americans who start with not very much, if any. But then they gain. So yeah, these are at Pearl Harbor, turn 2, and then they get all of these coming in over the course of the game. So here's the board. Okay, we'll crack open the board here in a second. We have a very small, but very, okay. Very small but very thick little counter sheet. It's right on the back. So, let's look at these. These are control markers, that's all they are. And they're both Allied and Japanese, and we'll flip them over so you get an equal amount of both. Those pop, they like basically fell out. They come apart fairly easily. You can see here we've got the little nubs on the corners. I don't know if my counter clip is big enough to clip these, because these are very thick grey core counters, which I'm happy about, nice and durable, but that's just something you'll have to deal with. Then everything else that's in this box, we have a little bag with 6 nice white rounded D6 in them. And 1, 2, 3 bags of blocks. Package insert, don't need that. Okay, so our bags of blocks. Oh, these are nice, okay. We've got 2 bags of green ones. And 1 bag of red ones. But what I wanted to show you is these are very, very nice. These are not glossy. They have a satin finish to them. But what's really nice is that these are pre-rounded. Some blocks are fairly sharp. These actually have a proper rounding to them. Those are very, very nice. It's going to be a nice game to play around with. That's something that's very exciting for me. And then the last thing is let's crack open the map as best we can. Okay, make sure we get this right way around. Okay, this is slightly smaller than your average 22 by 34, but I don't know the dimensions exactly. But the board itself isn't massively complex. It's obviously divided up into sea regions, and then there's different important island groups or larger islands. Pearl Harbor over here, Japanese home islands over here. And then I think this is our battle chart. So when 2 fleets meet, I think you stick them over here, you line up your units, you either sink, disable, or you've got some convoy transports as well. We have a game chart, which is going to have a bunch of numbers on it. This might be for VPs. It might be for RPs, replacement points as well. Little turn chart. And then some task force holding boxes, it looks like, as well. I guess that's to reduce maybe some of the clutter in some of the spaces. Like here and here, maybe. Man, it looks like those are Japanese only, so maybe these are difficult to say. I'm not sure, because the Americans don't look like they have one. But probably these are points. It's hard to say. Where if the Allies control the Philippine Sea, they have 1 point. If the Japanese do, they have 2 points. And it's 3 and 2, 1 and 3, for example. So it's important to hang on to the more strategically important areas, I would guess. But that's the board. The board itself also, kind of like those wooden blocks, has a linen finish to it. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Like the box has a linen finish, but it's also satin. It's not shiny in the same way that a glossy board would be. But I don't know if you can see the texture on here. This is a very nice board. So this is my first, like I said, Holdfast game. Pacific's something I'm very interested in. So this is Holdfast Pacific from Worthington. We will let you know how this goes. And if I delve more into this series, I'll be looking up Atlantic and North Africa are the 2 that I think interest me the most. after this one. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope and Alexander from theplayersaid.com.